ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن أراد الآخرة وسعى لها سعيها وهو مؤمن فأولئك كان سعيهم مشكورا وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام من خاف أدلج ومن أدلج بلغ المنزل ألا إن سلعة الله غالية ألا إن سلعة الله الجنة أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم صدق الله مولانا العظيم وصدق رسول النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. My respected elders, brothers, young ones, sisters, mothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. There's one surah in the Quran which is called Surah Ankabut, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts the surah and he asks a question, and he says, Alif Lam Mim ahasiba an-nasu ay yutraku ay yaqulu amanna wa hum la yuftanun. That do people think, do men think that they just say amanna, we believe in Allah, and they will not be tested, just sufficing on the kalima, saying la ilaha illallah? Do men think that just saying la ilaha illallah and Allah is not going to test them? Definitely Allah is going to test, and this life is a test. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا, so that Allah will see who of you can do good deeds, or whatever good deeds that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah asked the question that do you think that you'll be left alone? So obviously we know that this life is a test, and in association with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and our relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will test us. Ashaddul bala al-anbiya thumma al-amthal fal-amthal. That the people who were most tested by Allah were the anbiya alayhimus salam. That the test that they had to undergo, no man can endure that test. Then in accordance with one's relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would test a person. So here, this life, we need to understand the reality of this life, that it is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam beautifully puts it. He says, Man khafa adlaja. What's the meaning of adlaja? Adlaja means to leave early. To leave early so that you reach your destination early. So as the words of the hadith goes, وَمَنْ أَدْلَجَ بَلَغَ الْمَنْزِلِ. Who leaves early will reach his destination. Because if you go too late at night, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam knew that the night was fraught with dangers and whatever perils that the night comes with. So if you leave early, if you start early, then you reach early, so you'll be safe. So same, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had made a similarity with this dunya, and that is we need to start early. Don't wait for old age. Like the words of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that اغتنم خمسا قبل خمس, that take advantage of 5 before 5. And what was the one that whilst you in your youth, to benefit of the youth before the onset of old age. So whilst we have our youth, and we need to understand that youth is still when? Youth in Islam is still the age of 40 years old. So there are still many youth around, mashallah. May Allah protect our youth, inshallah. Very, very important. So here, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us that in order to reach our destination, this manzil is a destination, and what do we have to do? We have to strive in this dunya. Therefore, he says in the hadith, further he says, Ala inna sil'atallahi ghaliya, that the commodity, the merchandise, the goods of Allah is very expensive. And what is the goods of Allah? It is Jannat. So Jannat won't just come easy. Therefore, Allah Ta'ala asks us in the Quran that do you think that you will enter Jannat and the difficulties and hardships of the people of yesteryear will not afflict you? So definitely this will come to fore where one will have to face all these difficulties as promised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here a beautiful hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he speaks about a scene on the day of Qiyamah, and it reminds us in the Quran, يَوْمَ تُحَدِّثُ أَخْبَارَهَا. So the Sahaba asked, O Prophet Allah, what is the akhbar that you are speaking about? That the earth is going to speak about what happened. So he says that whatever happened, wherever a person found himself, whatever a person did in his life, the earth, Allah is going to give the earth the ability to speak and say exactly, this person did this to me on this particular day, did this act on this day, did that act on that day. So the earth, Allah is going to give the power to speech, and we will not be able to move on that day until we answer 5 questions. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us that man will not move until he's asked about 5 things. And what's the first? About his age, and umurihi fima afna. So the meaning of afna means to perish, to finish off. Like Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, kullu man alayha fan. Fan means to perish, mean the end of it now, it is finished. So life, Allah is going to ask us that an umurihi, Allah is going to ask us on the day of Qiyamah, this life which I have given you, firstly is an amanat. It is not to be abused. This life Allah had given us is not to be abused. So Allah is going to ask us, an umurihi fima afna. This life, how did you spend your life? Was it in the obedience of Allah or the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And one is going to have to give account for every action. To this extent, and sometimes I found it quite amusing, that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that every day, without fail, the limbs of the body address the tongue and say, please, tongue, don't do anything to jeopardize our position. Don't do anything to jeopardize, because this here will cause us all to go into Jahannam. Through the tongue, we all will suffer. So we ask you, please, don't say anything that will cause us to be in Jahannam. So here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the limbs the ability to speak, and they are going to testify. So Allah is going to ask, with this life I've given you, an umurihi fima afna, how did you spend your whole life? And we know life is so short that I was joking with the Jamaat the other day. I say, last week I'm sure many of us remembered that it was Friday. Now Fajr times it's Friday again. We must change the days of the week. Friday, 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 Friday. Every day is like Friday. So fast, these days are coming. And this is a sign of Qiyamah. When the days, there is no more barakat in the days. There's no more barakat left. Because we can't remember what we did last week. We can't remember what we did yesterday. So fast time is going. All we know, because we Muslims and Friday is our main day. So we identify Friday is the day of Jumuah, the blessed day of Jumuah, our main day. So we remember a Friday, and we identify with a Friday as the most important day of the week. So this is the condition. Yesterday I was in one building, and I was on the 3rd floor. And I got in the lift, and I thought the lift stopped somewhere. So the people, they said, look, we're on the ground. I said, I didn't even know. I said, I didn't even know. I said, I was down on top. Look, I'm at the bottom. Today we're standing here, tomorrow we're at the bottom. Today we're standing here, tomorrow we'll be at the bottom. I just counted in this last week, and we think only elderly people die, that 5 people, or I just heard of 5 youth who had died already. 5. Imagine in the space of a couple of days. Imagine parents are burying their own children today. Did we think it will ever come to that? Normally the norm is we expect that our children will bury us. But today the parents are burying their own children. So Allah is going to ask us about this life which He has given us. And وَعَنْ شَبَابِهِ فِيمَا أَبْلَى. So what is the meaning of abla? Meaning, although in this age which Allah had given us, there is a portion of our life which we term as youth. Like I mentioned, until the age of 40, we consider ourselves to be youth. And there's a saying that al-shabab qit'atum min al-junun, that youth is a portion of madness. Youth is a portion of madness. Why is that? Because when a person is young, you're virile, you're strong, you're fired up, and you want to just do everything in the line of enjoyment. Therefore, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam reminded us beautifully in a hadith, سَبْعَةٌ يُظِلُّهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي ظِلِّ يَوْمَ لَا ظِلَّ إِلَّا ظِلُّهُ, that 7 people will be under the shade of the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of them, who is one of them? The youth who grows up, who becomes old in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, by humble appeal to the youth, look after your youth. Why am I saying this? We don't realize many a time the things we are going through in old age is the consequence of our youth. What we suffer in old age because we were reckless in our youth and we don't realize it. When we look after our youth, meaning youth as when we are still young before the age of 40, not as youth as the children, the youth now as in our age. When we look after our youth, you would find that in old age we will benefit. Many a time, like I say, because of us being reckless in this dunya, now we suffer in old age. Where did I go wrong? I'm doing everything right. But we forgot we were reckless in our youth. So when we look after our youth, then you find in old age also it will benefit a person. So here, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he told us that the youth, that if you look after your youth and you protect yourself, and as we know, that a person's intelligence peaks at 40. So after 40, essentially, you're going downhill. Yes, you may think you are young, but you are going downhill now. Your intelligence have peaked. You have peaked now. So now your ability to grasp, your ability to comprehend, that is also now compromised. So don't think now, no, as I'm getting older, I'm becoming sharper. No, you're becoming blunter. You're not becoming sharper anymore. So as you're aging, you are going downhill. And don't fool yourself. The person who's 25, who died, example, when they were 12 and 13, little did they realize they're going downhill. They died at 25, imagine. 12, 13, 14, they're going closer to the death. So, yeah, our youth, very, very important. Don't abuse your youth. Look after your youth, because if you are reckless now, you are going to suffer in old age. That is assured. You are going to suffer. But if you look after yourself, inshallah, you'll see you might be from those, and may Allah make our youth from those who are under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here, this was the second aspect of the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The third is, وَعَنْ مَالِهِ. Allah is going to question us about our wealth. We mustn't be reckless with our wealth. The wealth Allah has given us is also amanat. Allah is going to ask us, that wealth I've given you, how did you use this wealth? How did you earn this wealth? Therefore, very important, we need to look at the means how we attain our wealth. Many a time people don't realize that the forms of income is haram, example. So now they don't realize that because of that wealth, it contaminates their own spirituality. Yes, they may buy clothing, they may live, they may eat, but they are contaminating their spirituality. They are affecting their deen because of the type of wealth which they are accruing in this dunya. So Allah Ta'ala is going to ask us. Therefore, always I give the advice that even to our youngsters, the careers you choose, make sure it is in line with the Shariat, where the Shariat is not going to be compromised, where Allah's laws are not going to be compromised. So even the careers you choose, the ambitions you have, make sure it is in line with the Shariat, because you are going to ultimately earn from what you have studied and what you have become, and now you are going to now depend on that money. So Allah is going to ask you, how did you earn your money? From where did your money come? وَمِنْ أَيْنَ اكْتَسَبْ and وَمِنْ أَنْفَقْ and وَفِيمَا أَنْفَقْ. And He's going to ask you, where did you spend your money? Don't say, no, it's my money, I can do what I want to. Like Qarun, may he be cursed. Allah curses him in the Quran. And when he was told that وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ دَارَ الْآخِرَةِ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ وَلَا تَبْغِ الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. That what Allah had given you, buy your akhirat. What the money Allah had given you, buy your akhirat. إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَنفُسَهُمْ بِأَمْوَالَهُمْ وَبِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةِ. Allah says He buys Jannat in lieu of which your wealth and your lives which you have sacrificed for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah will grant a person Jannat. You can buy your Jannat. Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala, after he contributed so much, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you have bought your Jannat already. You have paid for your Jannat already. Imagine, whilst he was alive, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave him the glad tidings of Jannat. So yeah, we need to buy our Jannat. So yeah, Allah Ta'ala said that people addressed as Qarun, that whatever Allah had given you, spend from it. Spend for your akhirat. Buy your akhirat. Invest in such avenues or such ventures which will benefit you in the akhirat. So Allah is going to ask you, how did you spend your money? And then what did He say? قَالَ إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. That what I have is my knowledge. So we must never say that, I worked very hard in this dunya and it's because of my efforts that, therefore I am what I am today. No, you are what Allah wants you to be. You are what Allah wants you to be, not because you wanted to be whoever you wanted to be. You are what Allah wants you to be. So never say like how Qarun says, إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. I am and I have because of my knowledge, my hard work, So this was and as a result, Allah Ta'ala says, فَخَسَفْنَا بِي وَبِدَارِ الْأَرْضِ. That Allah caused the earth to swallow him. Allah caused the earth to swallow Qarun because of his disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us about where we spend our money and how we spend it. So it's important that when we spend our money also, look at if it is permissible avenues. Don't waste, because Allah is going to ask us, إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. Those people who waste, they are the brethren of shaitan. Allah is going to ask us, look, I've given you this wealth. It does not mean it has to be abused. Use it in an appropriate manner, pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, I don't advocate that don't have fun. Have fun, but in a manner which is clean, not in a manner which is despised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us that the money I've given you, don't say it is yours. And so we need to work in our money in a manner which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, when we leave our monies behind, ensure there's going to be part which we're going to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is going to say that you left money behind, that you ensure that the money is going to the right recipients. I find so many people coming to me, so many cases where the person who's passed away, mashallah, he led a life of deen, but when he came to the end, as far as distributing his will, as far as making sure everything is in order, then unfortunately, thing was not right. The whole estate was not right because they did not know how to distribute the estate. So we need to educate ourselves. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that this faraid, this inheritance is half of knowledge. There is so much to learn about inheritance that we need to educate ourselves. We need to ask. One case came to me, and the father had left some money for some daughters, and he didn't have any sons. So this lady, when she was there with her husband, she did not even know that her father's sisters must inherit. She did not know. She thought, no, it's her mother and whoever the heirs are, only they must inherit. So I say, you know what? To make your father's akhirat right, ensure that you inform your sisters, inform the people that you need to sort your will. Because people don't realize, and it takes it for granted, that no, they give it to someone, that people will ensure that my will is in order. No, they don't realize that Allah Ta'ala is going to ask and take into account everything. Yes, and I'll just remember the far-reaching consequences and repercussions. Example, a person's will is not done in order, is not done correctly. Now you have usurped the right of the next person. Allah said on the day of Qiyamah, there'll be fire in your stomach. There'll be fire in your stomach. Now you have used the right and the haqq of someone else. Now you're buying clothing, you're buying food, you're nourishing, you're doing this, you're doing that with someone else's money. So essentially your whole lineage now becomes contaminated with haram wealth. We don't think about these things, but these are very important things. These affect our akhirat. That we might not, they say if your will is not sorted out, the mayyat is like suspended. Because I say, your father is turning in his grave. Understood, paperwork takes long. That's in its place. But remember, you can at least work out who must get what. Paperwork will come afterwards. But you can say, this one must get this, that one must get that. So here, the onus is upon us. Because if we don't ensure that our worlds are in order, then we are making it hard for our own in our akhirat. Once we close our eyes, what difference does it make? All we want now is good a'mal. We want to go to Allah in a manner where He's pleasing. He's pleased with us. So here, this is with regard to our monetary. And then the last part of the hadith, Allah is going to ask us about the knowledge we received. The knowledge we received in this dunya, وَفِيمَ عَمِلَ وَمَاذَا عَمِلَ فِيمَ عَلِمَ. That how did you do, how did you conduct yourself with what knowledge Allah had given you in this dunya? Firstly, to acquire knowledge to the extent of necessity, you have to. Like example, a person going on Hajj, he will make sure that he learn all the laws of Hajj. A person is mukallaf, he will make sure, she will make sure that they need to know the laws of Salah. Similarly, as Muslims, what is required of us? We have to learn what is required. So Allah is going to ask us that the knowledge you have, how did you conduct yourself? How did you act on that knowledge? That you knew what was right and wrong. Allah gave you the intelligence, because if you don't have intelligence and you are considered insane, then there is no reckoning for you. Allah is not going to take you to reckoning at all. But if you are sane and Allah had given you intelligence, then how are you going to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah, I had no time. I was preoccupied. And unfortunately, this is the condition today, that we are so preoccupied with this dunya, we actually forget the akhirat. That is some far-fetched concept. The akhirat is something far away. Yeah, far. It's in the distance. It's going to happen. We may not realize it might be tomorrow. Our akhirat might be tomorrow. When a person passes away, your qiyamah has started. You have to wait for Imam Mahdi and Hazrat Isa alayhi salam and the fire and all. You don't have to wait for anything. You pass away today, your qiyamah has started. We're in akhirat now. It's moving on now, new chapter in life. So yeah, we must not procrastinate. We know that famous English saying, procrastination is the thief of time. In procrastinating, years will go. Years of our lives will go. How many of us owe salah? How many of us need to make up with our salah? We don't even realize that we carry on enjoying ourselves day in and day out, social media, but years of salah we have missed. We're not even making effort to catch up those salah. How many of us are making effort? Allah, I've missed 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of my life of salah. How? When the day of Qiyamah, Allah is going to ask you, the first question, my friend, is your salah in order? And if you can't answer Allah, then how do you move further now? When that is the first question, the main question you're going to fail, then what about all the other questions? Then we're in problems. Then we are in problems. So yeah, there's so much to do. We need to catch up. We have to actually play catch up with our lives. We have to rectify so many things where we fell short in life. We have to rectify those things. Therefore, whilst the youth is there, they have their age with them, don't let them falter and go astray. They must look after themselves. They must protect themselves, because many elderly person, if only I had my young days back. Any elderly person, you ask them, if you could do, what would you do? I'd have changed my life. I'd have been a good person. I'd have spent my time in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone will tell you the same thing. But it's never too late. The mercy of Allah, inna rahmati wasi'at kulla shay, that the mercy of Allah encompasses everything. So it's never too late. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change. He can change the condition of a person tomorrow. So here, these 5 beautiful advices of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let us take heed. Let us adhere to these things, because this is the reality of life. Unfortunately or fortunately, Allah has created us for the akhirat, not for this dunya. But our actions show otherwise. The way we carry on our lives, Allah created us for this dunya and not for the akhirat. But Allah, the Nabi tells us, "Ad-dunya khuliqat lakum," dunya created for you, "wa innakum khuliqtum lil akhirah." But you have been created for the akhirat. So we're still moving on. This is a journey which we're carrying on. How did we come in this world? We came, Allah Ta'ala tells us in the Quran that our mothers gave birth to us. وَيَخْلُقُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, and we knew nothing. And He created things you do not know. And when we came into this world, we were babies. We were helpless. All we knew is to cry and to reach out for the milk. And we were helpless. And tomorrow when we leave this dunya, we're helpless again. People are going to carry us, and people are going to put us in our grave and walk away. We came into this dunya helpless, and we are going to go from this dunya helpless. So the time spent between these two periods, ensure it is in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding, inshallah. May Allah keep our iman strong, inshallah. And may Allah give us the appreciation of iman. That is the most important thing, to appreciate this iman. Don't take it for granted, because if Allah feels that you're not deserving of the iman He had given you, Allah can snatch it and He can give it to someone else. And you'd find them, the people who have accepted Islam, many of them, they become so good Muslims. They appreciate and they actually feel that Allah has saved us. The fact that Allah had given us iman, Allah had saved us. They have this feeling, but we just take it for granted. The fact that Allah had given us iman, we just think, yeah, we have it, so it will be there forever. May Allah protect iman, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wat, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Jazakallahu khair.
Jazakumullah khairan to Moulana Moosagie for that beautiful reminder. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect and grant Moulana long life. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So a few announcements, inshallah. First of all, we'd like to remind the brothers that we have the tapping machine here at the masjid to tap, to donate generously and easily to the masjid, inshallah. So those who have the card, inshallah, and no cash, can tap, inshallah. And we appeal to the masjid, inshallah, to the community to donate to the masjid, inshallah, generously. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And just we make dua, inshallah, for our Mr. Bayat who passed on today 2 years ago. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him nur in his kubur, widen his kubur, and grant him Jannatul Firdaus. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And also we make dua for Sister Zahra Zalgonkar, a young lady who is passed on Sunday. She's a daughter of Rushana Bayat and Sirajuddin Zalgonkar. And also we make dua for the two young Hufaz who lost their life 2 days ago, Hafiz Umar and Hafiz Tawfiq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them all Jannatul Firdaus and sabr in the hearts of the family and friends. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And just to appeal to the brothers also, I can see quite a few people are still standing outside, and there are quite a few gaps for about 200-300 people still to come inside the masjid. So we appeal to the brothers, inshallah, when you come into the masjid, the barakah of the masjid lies in front. Inshallah, if you were to know what is the reward in front, we would have pulled the lots to sit in front. So inshallah, try to grab, Moulana just mentioned, inshallah, that our deeds are going to be questioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah. So I can see hands is going up, ask the people to go to the front, inshallah. I think we are quite mature enough to know that to fill the masjid from the front, there's barakah inshallah. So that we don't waste any time in between or climb over the shoulders of the people, inshallah. So please, brothers, when we stand, inshallah, fill the masjid, inshallah, so that we can start immediately with the salah after our khutbah. Ameen, ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Can you ask the brothers to stand in fadlik? And also this before, there is a white BMW CAA 411005. It's a white BMW CAA 411005 parked. He's parked somewhere and is obstructing the traffic. He's obstructing the traffic outside in the main road, so somewhere, I don't know where he's parking, but he's obstructing the traffic. That is a white BMW CAA 4115, so 411005. So my eyesight, brothers, small.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله الذي أنزل الفرقان خلق الإنسان وعلمه البيان أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له خالق الإنس والجان وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدًا عبده ورسوله المبعوث بالهدى والقرآن صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ما درات القمران أما بعد فيا معشر الإخوان عليكم بالعلم فإنه أساس العمل والتقوى من تعلم الدين فقد رشد واهتدى ومن تجاهل عنه فقد ضل وغوى وقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من يرد الله به خيرا يفقهه في الدين وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم ومسلمات واعلموا أن قدر الفرض من العلم علم العقائد والطهارة والصلاة والزكاة والصوم والحج على حسب الضرورة وعلم حقوق الواجبات على الذمة فمن لم يتعلم قدر الفرض يسأل عنه يوم القيامة ومن لم يعلم أولاده يؤخذ فيه وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام والرجل راعي على أهل بيته وهو مسؤول عنهم وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام فقيه واحد أشد على الشيطان من 1000 عبدة فيا عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله وأحثكم وإياي على طاعة الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون وقال تعالى ومن أراد الآخرة وسعى لها سعيها وهو مؤمن فأولئك كان سعيهم مشكورا صدق الله العظيم بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم إنه تعالى جوال كريم ملك بر رؤوف رحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله الذي أرسل بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يديه الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعصهما فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذريته قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: أرحم أمتي بأمتي أبو بكر، وأشدهم في أمر الله عمر، وأصدقهم حياء عثمان، وأقضاهم علي، وفاطمة سيدة النساء أهل الجنة، والحسن والحسين سيدا شباب أهل الجنة، وحمزة عسل الله وعسل رسوله. اللهم اغفر للعباس وولده مغفرة ظاهرة وباطنة لا تغادر ذنبا. الله في أصحابي لا تتخذوهم غرضا من بعدي، فمن أحبهم فبحبي أحبهم، ومن أبغضهم فببغضي أبغضهم، وخير القرون قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، وأذل الشرك والمشركين، ودمر أعداءك أعداء الدين. اللهم انصر المجاهدين والمستضعفين في كل مكان. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا واغفر لنا يا مولانا فإنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي، يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم، واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم، واسألوه من فضله يؤتكم، ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقيموا الصلاة.
Shall I fill the gaps in fadlik, stand shoulder to shoulder, heels on the blue line. Your right hand side, brothers, the right hand side. There's a big gap there on the right hand side. قم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله، حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر،
الله
لا
أكبر الله
إله
أكبر.
إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. استووا اعتدلوا. Straighten the rows, heels on the line, stand shoulder to shoulder. Please make sure that your cell phones are turned off. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى، والذي قدر فهدى، والذي أخرج المرعى فاجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله العظيم التواب الرحيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم ونتوب إليك ونسألك توبة ومغفرة إناية لنا فإنك أنت التواب الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، نبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام، تباركت ربنا وتعاليت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم اكفنا بحلالك عن حرامك وأغننا بفضلك عمن سواك. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. اللهم أجرنا من النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا رب الناس ذهب البأس اشف أنت الشافي، لا شفاء إلا شفاء، شفاء لا يغادر سقما. وقال تعالى وننزل من القرآن ما هو شفاء ورحمة للمؤمنين ولا يزيد الظالمين إلا خسارا. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وسكنهم في الجنة. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وروحهم في الجنة. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وادخلهم في الجنة. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، وسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين.